Hey there, my name is Tom Ujek and I'm a fellow here at Autodesk. We're here at Autodesk University and we've just spent 5 hours talking about communities, how to build, how to foster, how to inspire communities. And we've had a number of world-class speakers that have illustrated and brought to life some of these topics. Now during the course of the conversation, we've graphically recorded and made their ideas visible. Let me show you what it looks like. So we're in this massive room here at Autodesk University, and I think we've got about 100 or so feet, maybe 120 feet of recording. So during the course of the conversation, I graphically recorded, in a sense, made a doodle of all of the ideas. And I'd like to share some of the key ideas that our presenters spoke about. Autodesk Community. Ray began the discussion with his 4 objectives of community leaders, exposing best practices and best tools, community imagining, and creating and maintaining communities, and just to bring awareness to the size and scope of communities. We had some speakers and a panel, and we started with something called OARS. And OARS is a way to make sure that we really understand what the goals are and what success looks like for each person in the audience, or the key people in the audience. So these are some of the objectives that the group had. From there, we clarified some rules, and then Robert Green illustrated and led us through a story of finding the leader within all of us. So come on here and you can take a look at some of this. He had some key questions that he asked. But more importantly, he illustrated a number of key laws, and these are laws that I believe are true for any major community. Get moving, create a sense of urgency, lead the mission, debug the challenge, fight to keep moving, enjoy the success, don't forget to mix things up, and in the process you create a new you that's consistent with your strengths, where you work with others to leverage theirs, be vigilant, and then working hard. From there, Bev Arnaldi talked about creating and maintaining a successful community of practice, and she highlighted many of the same ideas. A group of people where there's a core group of active members and a peripheral group, and she told stories of success factors, groups that didn't work so well because they didn't have a core group, and groups that actually worked wonderfully well because they had a leader that did all of the right things to foster community. She showed how a group went from not so good to very good, and she did this by illustrating key principles of strategic planning, where you need to have a clear mission, clear sense of goals, activities, and metrics to measure those goals. And from there, she talked about what actually goes into a job description and who you need to have job descriptions for. And then she illustrated the 4 strategies: market the community, improve and grow the chapter, create a positive return on the activities, and make sure that you have leadership handoff. That was a really key theme. After a break, we had a panel that discussed their best practices of what a community is. And so Kevin and Herbert and Sean and Tom and Jay and another Tom and John illustrated their key ideas. And from there, John illustrated what he thought were some best practices for local chapters. And so these are ones that are true, I believe, for communities pretty much around the world. Local chapter handbook, make relationships locally, determine your focus, meeting plan, and so on. Let's move over to our final presentation. Sean Hendricks spoke about an online community, a place you want to be, and so he runs our online community called The Area for the Media and Entertainment Group within Autodesk. He spoke a little bit about himself and the various versions of the community, and he brought some really good questions into focus. Are virtual communities as good as the real thing? Do you really want to run your own? What's the focus and what's the scope of your project? What is the technology that you're going to use? And he's illustrated 3 key options from open source, commercial platforms, and do-it-yourself, with what works and what doesn't work. And then he had some good in-the-trenches experiences from taking small bites, make sure that you automate everything, patience is a virtue, keep it civil, and content is king. So this is, again, a practice called visual facilitation and visual recording, and it's one that we practice within Autodesk as a way to make ideas both visible and persistent. Why? So we remember and we clarify the meaning. So that's it, and we look forward to seeing you at Autodesk University in the future.